Okay, so we have some questions here from chapter 2.1 that I want to just go over. So the following four questions were given. So I'm going to start with here with number 16. So in number 16, we were told how to describe the transformation from the parent function y equals x squared to this one that we have here in number 16. So I'll do this here. So this is actually referring back to chapter 1 when we did transformations. So again, we go inside the function here. So -3, meaning we move 3 to the right. The +1 on the outside means we're going to move up 1 unit. And then the negative on the outside here means we're going to reflect over the x-axis. So again, this is really a question about chapter 1. Even though it's in chapter 2, the reason it's in chapter 2 is because specifically we're working with this as the parent function. But really this is going back to chapter 1 and transformations. So if you still have questions or don't understand this fully, I reference then for you to go back and look at the video that I made. I believe it's chapter 1.4 on transformations, where I went through how to look at a function and know what transformations are going on. But these were the three transformations that happened. We are not putting them in any order. These is just the transformations that have occurred. It didn't ask us to do that, just to describe what's happening. So that would be our answer for 16. Now for questions 28 and 36, we were asked to identify the vertex and to describe the graph of the function. So we need to find the vertex first and then to describe the graph of the function, meaning does the parabola open up, does it open down, and the behavior, that kind of thing. All right, so we'll start off with the vertex. So since in number 28, it's in that standard, sorry, not standard, but just that given form, it's not that vertex form. I'm going to use the formula -b over 2a. So in our equation here, b is a -4, so minus a -4. So -b over 2a. Again, make sure that you are setting up before you calculate. So this is the correct setup. So this will yield a 4 over -2, which is -2. So my vertex, I'm going to go ahead and start writing it here. So vertex is -2, comma, and now I want the y-coordinate for the vertex, which is just taking this -2 and plugging it in. So again, setup. This is so important. I keep emphasizing this because this is where people are messing up over and over. So negative a -2 squared. So order of operations, I square first. That's a 4. And then you have the negative. So it's a -4. Then we have -4 times -2, which is a +8 plus 1. So that's going to then give me 5 as my answer. So vertex is at 2, comma 5. Now the lead coefficient is negative. So that means that my parabola opens down. The vertex represents a maximum because the parabola is going to open downwards like so. So this right here would be my description. Okay. Now let's do the same thing again. We were asked to do the same thing in number 36. So again, I'm going to do the x coordinate for the vertex. So -b, which in this case is a +24, over 2 times a, which is a -4. So -24 over -8. So that's a +3. So again, I'm going to write my vertex up here, start forming it. So 3 comma, what's the y value? So vertex, we'll take that 3 and plug it into our equation here. So -4 times 3 squared plus 24 times 3 minus 41. So 3 squared is 9, times 4 is a -36. Move this over your side. So it's a -36. 24 times 3, that's a positive 72. And then a minus 41. So here we have 71. So -71 and a positive 72. So that is a 1 as my answer. Oops, I'm sorry. Incorrect. So 7, that's actually, sorry, 77 and a 72. So that's going to be a -5. That's my vertex. So 3 comma -5. Now again, the lead coefficient is negative. So as my description, I'm going to say that again, the parabola opens downward. The vertex is a maximum. So this is my, again, my description. All right, for our last question in 2.1, we had these where we were told the product, let me write it over here. So the product is a maximum. And we had to find 2 positive numbers whose product is a maximum and satisfies the given condition. So number 60, the sum is 66. So we want to show work here. So again, in some of you guys' homework, I just saw numbers thrown down. I did not see any setup or any sort of thing solving. That is unacceptable. That will not receive credit if you do that on the exam. So don't just copy answers. Don't just kind of guess at the answer, because that's not going to work. You need to show your steps. And if you don't understand how to do it, this is what you should be doing, asking questions. So let's go ahead and set this up. So I have 2 numbers. I'm going to go ahead and just give them a value. So I'm going to say x and y. And we're told the sum of these 2 numbers is 66. The product of these 2 numbers must be a maximum. Okay, so this is a system of equations. So we're going to solve this system by substituting. So I'm going to take my first equation, I'm going to solve for y, and then I'm going to substitute. So I'm going to sub into this second equation. So now my second equation really is going to say x times y. And this has to be a maximum. I'll go ahead and I'll multiply here. So this is going to say 66x minus x squared is a maximum. Well, this is a quadratic. It's a parabola. And as we just finished doing or learning in this chapter, where is the maximum? What does it mean when I say maximum of a parabola? That just is another way of saying find the vertex. So we're going to now find the vertex of this parabola, because that's what we're asked to do. We got to get the max. So I'm going to rearrange it so we can see a is -1, b is 66, and there is no c value. Okay, so the x coordinate for the vertex, so this is not the same x as here, just saying the x coordinate of the vertex is going to be -b over 2a. So this is going to be -66 over -2, which is a positive 33. So my vertex is at 33. So that's where the highest point is. Where's the lowest point going to be? So we needed to find two numbers. So here's where we're going to stop. I'm not going to finish getting the rest of the vertex. I only just wanted the x value because these are just two numbers. This x and y, so you understand, is not the x and y coordinate for the vertex. In fact, let me just make it clearer. I'm not going to use these letters. I'm just going to do what I did before in class. I'm going to just say A and B. That way you really don't get confused with it being the same x and the y. So this is going to be A, because I think that's what's happening sometimes too. We just keep using the same letters over and over again. And then of course everything is x. Everything is x. And then we get confused. Oh, this x is not the same as that x. So we're finding the vertex. So essentially, I want to find A. So this A corresponds to the x coordinate of the vertex. This is A. The y value is not B. It's just the other number. So now that we have A, I'm just going to go back to my original equation, substitute A back in there, and then get the other value for B. So A, now to finish this off, I get A is equal to 33, and B is just 66 minus 33, which is our substitution, which is also 33. So it just so happens they're both the same number. Doesn't mean that that's always going to happen. They just happen to be both the same number. So again, this B is not, it's not the y coordinate of the vertex. So very important to kind of emphasize that. Okay. So those are our questions for 2.1. So hopefully you found this useful, and I will see you guys on the next questions that are submitted.